So the last video, or the only video I have before this, is of my hair 2 months after I started dreading it, and this is them at 3 months. So I'll just show you what I have going on here, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about my journey. Okay, so here we got like this skinny guy. This one's only been crocheted and interlocked. Interlocking, I'm not sure really how she did it, but it felt like she was kind of just tying like knots like this. I don't know. But what I can say about it, what I do know is it gets the dread very close to the root. Like it's nice and tight close to the root, which I like a lot. Um, you can do that with a crochet hook, but I've never had it feel this tight, so I wouldn't mind interlocking them more often. Well, not more often, but in the future, because I doubt you have to do that very often because it gets so close to the root. All right, so here we go. The ones here in the front were the ones I did most recently. The first ones I got are the ones in the back. So let me see. Show you those. Those are the fatter ones. I don't know if you guys can see. Hold on. Okay. So this guy right here. This one. I wish I had more. It looks really nice when people have like a head of a whole bunch. But when I'm palm rolling them, I'm kind of grateful that there aren't that many because my arms start getting really tired. I bet anyone who's had dreads for like years who palm rolls them, they must have like the best triceps in the world, I swear. Alright, so there we go. I got these little beads here. I had other beads in them, but it disappeared. I guess I didn't put them in good enough. Should have put them in tighter. But yeah, so that's what I got. Those are my dreads at 3 months. So far, so good. And then I've got a little bit of hair left here in the front that I haven't locked. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point I lock it, but I don't know. I kind of like it like that for right now. Okay, so a little bit about my story for those of you who aren't moving on to the next video. Okay, so I would say my dread journey, although I've had these for 3 months, I would say it started like 2 years ago. A friend of mine, we were just sitting in his room, and he grabbed a chunk of hair in the back of my head. He didn't even have a comb with him. I think he used a knife, which, now that I think about it, sounds crazy. Anyways, and he tried backcombing with the knife, the blade or something. I don't know, whatever. But eventually I had a knot like this fat in my head, maybe like this long. And that one would just get shorter. It wasn't really getting longer. It would get shorter, and then it would just grab all the loose hairs in my head that it could, like when I slept on it and stuff. So I got annoyed with that. I cut that dread out. And then for whatever reason, I tried again. So I tried again. I got like, how did that happen? Let me see. I was on the train, and I grabbed a piece of hair like on the right side of the back of my head, and I just started twisting and ripping it. So the twist and rip technique is like you pretty much grab the hair. Or what I would do anyways, my interpretation of it. You grab the hair, and you kind of like twist it around itself, like if you were gonna braid it, like kind of like get it all interlocked and stuff. And then you just grab the hair. Oh, let me see. Hold on, if I can put this down and show you. Okay, like this. Just whatever, and then just like pull on the hair as hard as you can. Get it as close to the root as you can, and you keep doing that over and over again. So I just took it out, but I'll show you again. Just like that. You keep doing that, and I pretty much just did that, you know, for a while on the train until I got it as tight as I could. Um, if you do it like that, you can. It's a little easier to keep the length of your hair than it would be with backcombing. But whatever, you know, there's a ton of different techniques out there. Um, okay, so I put that one dread in my head after cutting the other one out. And then eventually I had someone put like about 14 dreads in the back of my head. Those, he pretty much, I think he backcombed those. Backcombing is like when you take a comb and you press the comb against the scalp. He backcombed those and then just put a ton of hairspray and twisted them. Twisted them really, really tight. But I went to the beach like 2 days after getting that done, and they pretty much fell out of my head. I think it also had something to do with the fact that they weren't crocheted, and that once I wet the hair, all the hairspray kind of came out. So it was like, whatever. So those didn't last. Out of the 14 he put in, I think like 2 or 3 were left. They actually stood there. They went nowhere. And I wore those for a couple months. And then I cut all the dreads in my head out. I don't know why really, but I just chopped them all out. And it didn't take long for me to miss them after that. I don't know. It's almost like they become a part of you, sort of. I don't really know how to explain it. But yeah, I miss them. And then a close friend of mine got a full head of dreads, and I was like, oh my god, like, I just started thinking about how long mine would have been by then, and it just made me miss them even more. Especially when I would see him palm rolling them, I'd be like, oh man, I miss playing with my dreads. So I just gave in, and I dreaded. I had my brother help me out. Well, he said he would help me out, but he was stalling. Like, he was taking forever. So eventually I did get him to put, I think he put like 2 dreads in my head. He just grabbed random chunks of hair. He didn't even like divide it, like, you know how some people have their dreads divided into like perfect little boxes, which that would have been great, you know. I'm sure I would have got the look I was going for, but that's not what happened. So he did like 2 of them. And then I taught my little sister how to do it. I just told her to do the same thing, backcomb them. And she put like 2 more in my head. And then my stepmother put 1 in. And the ones they put actually ended up being the fattest ones, the ones in the back of my head. And I had those for a couple weeks. And then the loose hairs up top would keep getting caught in them. So, and plus it was like I had dreads, but it didn't feel like I had dreads because the top of my head looked so normal and felt so normal. So it was like, you know, but the fact that I wasn't washing my hair often because of the new dreads in the back, it was just getting crazy, you know, like the top hairs would get all tangled and stuff. So eventually I had my friend, he took some time out of his day, and he dreaded the rest of the hair except for this chunk in the front. And yeah, and so since then I've had dreads. So they've all kind of come in like different parts of my life. Like they're not all the same age. Like this is like the newest one. It's like probably like 3 days old. There's like this one too. There's skinnier ones. So yeah, at first it was a little rough, you know, because I've always kind of been a little like, I mean, as much as it sucks to admit it, I've always kind of been a little too concerned about what others think or say. But at the same time, I've always wanted to change that about myself. You know, I've always wanted to care less. So this is definitely a step towards that. It's really helping me kind of learn, like, you know, to just stay true to what it is I really want, you know. Like, I mean, I have moments where I'm like, oh my god, you know, not where I'm like, what did I do, but you know, when people ask me like, oh, why'd you do that to your hair, or oh, why'd you get them so fat, you should have got skinnier ones, like blah blah blah. It's weird. It's almost like they speak my insecurities out loud without me ever sharing them with them. But it's like, so whenever that happens, I do get a little like, damn, you know, like, you know, and it'll kind of make me second guess it, but I just, I leave them there, you know, and I learn to love them. And it's cool because if you look at it, you could look at that so many ways, you know, like there's always going to be someone, you know, who's not very fond of what you do with, you know, just in general, really. And the more you kind of ignore that, not ignore that, you know, acknowledge it, you know, try to understand what they're saying, why they're saying it, but still remind yourself that you know, I still remind myself that I am who I am. I like what I like. And it's funny because like I look at them now and I know that they don't look anything like they will months from now or years from now. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to like to know that I'm able to accept them the way they are in the present moment because of the way I know things will be in the future. You know, I could just relate that to so many things in life. So it's nice. And the people I meet, you know, uh, it really feels like unless you have dreads, you don't really get it. But I'm sure that's not the case. You know, I'm sure plenty of people without dreads could understand what, you know, what the journey is like. But it's cool, you know, like sometimes I'll just sit there, you know, cross my legs and just palm roll them, and it's nice. I kind of, you know, I'll just start connecting my breaths and straightening my back a little bit, and I kind of get into like a little meditative zone. Um, so it's like pretty much the journey is everything I thought it would be, and more. Like I know there's more to come. And yeah, so I'm excited. Even if it doesn't seem that way. But yeah, so that's that. It's my 3 months. These are getting so big. These actually look like they're getting thinner than they were. Like, you see the ends, they're still like loose. I'm told those will lock eventually, but if they don't, I don't really mind. I really don't. But yeah. So that's that. I'll see you guys in another month. Thanks for watching.